Hi, my name is Kelly Cheatham. I'm a digital learning specialist for Fort Worth ISD. This video is part of a series of videos about how to facilitate student discussion and collaboration in the virtual learning environment. In this particular video, we're going to talk about how you could use Google Classroom to facilitate those discussions. So I have pulled up my Google Classroom that I'd like to have some collaboration within. And the first thing I need to do in order for my students to be able to collaborate is go into my class settings. In my class settings, I'm going to scroll down into the general section, and I'm going to change the stream settings here from only teachers can post or comment to students can post and comment. Now, a quick note about this means that your students will be able to post on the stream, so they'll be able to add their own quote-unquote announcements, as well as respond to other students. So you'll want to make sure that you've had the discussions with your class to make sure that they are going to be good digital citizens and use the Google Classroom environment in the correct way. So once you have had those discussions though, and you feel comfortable trusting your class, you can go ahead and change this setting, and then I'll hit save. Now, the beauty of this is now my students can come in and they can go ahead and add their own comments to the stream and start a conversation. So if a student needs help on an assignment, they can reach out to their peers for assistance as well as to you. So here's a student that is enrolled in this class, and you'll notice that when she goes to her stream, she can go ahead and share something with her class. So she can say something like, okay. And then as soon as she hits post, her other classmates can come in and respond to her. Now, again, you'll want to make sure you've had that conversation with your class to make sure they're going to use this tool appropriately. So one thing you could do is have your class have a discussion on the stream itself. The other thing that happens when you turn on that setting in your class settings there is now you can go ahead and post things and have your students actually respond to them. So one of the best ways to kind of create that collaborative environment is to go ahead and create a question. And so in your question, you might say, I don't have a good question in mind, but you might give them 2 characters from a story you just read and ask them for an opinion. You might have them justify a math problem, whatever it might be. You would post that as a question here. You might even give them instructions to all right, and once you have your question all set up here, we're going to go over to the right-hand side, and there's one really important thing you want to turn on in order to facilitate that discussion. At the very bottom, because this is a short answer question, we have 2 little check boxes. You'll want to make sure that you have checked off students can reply to each other. When you do this, once a student has responded, they'll have the opportunity to view their classmates' responses and then add their own replies. So we're going to keep that checked off. You can go ahead and decide whether you want your students to be able to go in and edit their answer after they've turned it in. That is up to you. I'm going to leave everything else as is for now, and I'm just going to go ahead and ask this question. All right, so now I'm going to pull over my first student account, and I'm going to go to her classwork tab. And here is that question that I just posted. So as a student, I'm going to come in, I'm going to view the question, and then I'll go ahead and type my response. So as soon as I hit turn in here, you'll notice that I have the option now to see classmate answers. I'm going to go ahead, right now I don't have another response yet, so I'm going to go ahead and pull in a second student account, and we're going to go ahead and respond on his. So here's my second classroom account, and I'm going to go to my classwork tab again. And from his account, now I'm going to answer this question. And on his end, I'm going to go ahead and turn it in. And again, we'll see that option now to see classmate answers. So once he has responded, he can go ahead and click on this, and it will pull up all of his classmates, and he'll see all of their responses. Now notice that under each response, he has the option to reply. So he can come in here and say, we can go ahead and respond and send his response on. Now the rest of the class can also come in and they can respond to each other's posts here. And then we're going to look one last time here on our teacher end so you can see what that looks like for me. So here is my teacher account. I'm going to come into the question itself. And when I click on View Question, I will see all of my students' responses. And then notice that the ones that have replies have this little one reply link underneath. So I can click on that and kind of open up those replies. I also have the ability to come in here and I can delete their replies and I can mute students who are not using it appropriately. So I have the option to do that on those replies, and I can mute students just on their actual answers. So I can't delete their answers, but I can mute them. You'll also notice that I have the opportunity as the teacher to reply as well to continue that conversation. So in order to use Google Classroom for a collaborative nature or for discussion, you do, as a reminder, need to go into your class settings and make sure that you have your stream set to students can post and comment. Otherwise, they will not see the ability to respond to each other. If you have any questions about how to use Google Classroom for collaboration, please reach out to your digital learning specialist.